Hello, Facebook. Happy Sunday. I hope you guys are having a fabulous day. I was trying to, let's see. What happens if I hit these buttons? Nothing. That's very weird. All right. Well, I am coming to you completely makeup free and just want to chat with you guys. I cleaned out my office yesterday and had some realizations that I wanted to talk to you guys about and maybe normalize a couple things and really help you where you're at in your health and fitness journey and your mental journey or whatever journey it is that you are on, because no matter where you're at, everything is going the way it's supposed to go. Everything is exactly how it should be, and there's nothing wrong with you. All right? Okay, so if you guys are jumping on live, say hi. Drop a 1 in the comments below if you are watching live. If you're watching the replay, drop a 2 in the comments below, just so I can come back and say thank you for watching. And of course, if you have any questions for me while I'm live, please drop them in the comments below. I would love to answer them. Or if you're watching the replay, you can drop those in the comments below and I will answer them. So if you guys don't know me, hi, I'm Ashley. I am an online health and fitness coach. I'm also a business mentor, and I've been doing this for the past 8 years. I have also been on my own journey for the past 8 years, and I openly share every single moment of that journey because I think that that's something that is not shared enough. And I think that more people need to hear that they are normal, that the things that they go through, the ups and downs, if you will, that they go through are a part of life, and it's just what happens. And when we can really normalize it and we can learn that there's nothing wrong with us and that we have more worth than what our body looks like, then it's easier for us to move forward. It's easier for us to not feel like we're stuck. It's easier for us to not feel like we're trapped. It's easier for us to love our body exactly how it is. And it's easier for us to just live the life we want to live and not be so tied up in thinking about what society says we should look like or what you think other people think you should look like. And that all comes down to you, but we can do that in another video. All right. So yesterday I was cleaning out my office and I literally was going through papers from 2012, which I thought I had already gone through, but I didn't. And so I was cleaning everything out. I was getting rid of stuff that I need to get rid of. If you haven't seen my post lately, I am saying that Ashley 3.0 is in the transformation progress and she's coming up. And so I knew that some of that stuff I just needed to get rid of. But I started to see a cycle that was happening while I was going through this stuff, and it tends, and this is kind of what I want to talk about, but I also want to talk about the 20-pound weight gain because that was something I realized. I didn't even realize that was happening. But I realized that I have this cycle of feeling like I need to move backwards in order to move forwards. Hey, Dusty, can you share this video on my page? If you can, you should. I feel like that I always go through this cycle of, okay, if I'm going to move forward, I have to go backwards first. And so that's definitely something that I am working on, especially through these 100 days, because I don't think that's how we all have to live. But I do want to talk about the 20-pound weight gain and what that means and how I feel like that was actually necessary for me to go through in order to move forward in my journey. I'm not saying that everybody has to go backwards in order to move forward. I'm actually going to very much prove that wrong to you guys and help anybody not feel that way. But if you have moved backwards, just know that it's okay. So I was going through all these papers and I came across the papers from the program that I did in last year. In 2018, I did a program that was 93 days long. I committed 100%. I went all in. I got like the most amazing results that I ever got in my life. And so I found those papers and I started to look at my weight, my measurements, all of that stuff that I had written down before I started the program. So that would have been in the end of 2017. And I looked at that and I was like, holy crap, like I right now am 20 pounds heavier than I was before I started that program. But the crazy thing about it is like I feel more happy, more confident, more in love with my body than I ever have. And I'm going to tell you guys why that is and tell you why and explain like why I feel like I needed to go through that. So if you guys haven't followed me for a while, like I said, I've been doing this for almost 8 years now. And the first 5 years of my journey, if you really want to say the 5 years of my journey, I was really addicted to diet pills, phentermine. I was for 2 years really, really deep in an Adderall addiction. And it was all because I wanted my body to look a certain way. I wanted I put all of my worth into what my body looked like. I put all of my energy in making my body smaller. I was addicted to people saying, oh my gosh, look how small you are. Look how good you look at this, look at that. Like, I really was addicted to that, people saying that to me. And so whatever I could do to get there, I would try. But it really led me down a path to where I didn't have a life anymore. I cut off all the people, all the relationships. I was never ever, like, I wasn't able to be like super present with my kids. I was like all over the place. My business went from up here to crashing down. And so I had to give that addiction up, and I did, but I still messed around with diet pills from time to time because I still put all of this worth into my body. I thought that my business would excel if my body looked a certain way. I thought that people would love me more if my body looked a certain way. I thought that people would like me more if my body looked a certain way. I thought that I would feel more confident, that I would be happy with all of these things if I looked a certain way. And so I kept comparing myself to the Ashley that was on drugs. Like, I kept saying, okay, like when I quit the drugs back in 2016, I gained 20 pounds like overnight. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, what am I gonna do? I have to get this off right now. Like, nobody is going to listen to me. I'm an online health and fitness coach, and you gained 20 pounds. Like, what the heck, Ashley? Like, get your life together. And so I remember towards the end of that year, I went back to my doctor and I asked her if she would put me back on the diet pills. I went back on the diet pills. I lost 12 pounds, and then gained it all back. And it was just the cycle that was happening. And finally in 2017, I was like, okay, clearly this cycle, and this is all what it really is about breaking these cycles, right? I'm like, clearly these cycles of using prescription drugs or diet pills or quick fixes or whatever you want to call it is not working for you. And it would be miserable. It would be a miserable time. Like, I would be high, low. And I was just like, enough is enough. Like, this is why you quit taking Adderall. Why do you keep going back to this? Because it's a very similar drug. And so at the end of 2017, I said, enough is enough. You are going to prove to yourself that you can get results all on your own. So I did that. I went all in on the program. I mean, I got the best results. I think I didn't lose that much weight, but I lost like 5 inches in my stomach and like 6 or 7 inches in my chest, and I just felt amazing, and I loved that program. It was amazing. I will probably do it again in the future, but the problem is through that program, I kept telling myself, well, you're not going to be able to maintain these results. It's going to be hard to maintain these results. You're not going to be able to do it. All of these things were going through my head. And the other problem is going into that program, I was still focused on changing my body. I was still focused on getting my body to look a certain way. I remember feeling frustrated through that program because I wanted to see the scale go down more. I remember feeling like anxious at the end of that program because I didn't know how I was going to maintain the results, and I kept telling myself it would be hard. I kept telling myself all these things, and I had so much of my worth tied up into my body. It was insane. And so I went through the rest of that year. So I did that program from January to March, right? January, February, March, January to March, April. And then we went on a trip to Mexico, like literally the day after I finished that program. And I honestly think that was probably the worst thing for me, especially since I kept telling myself, you can't maintain the results. Like I legit said that. And if you know me and if you know anything, whatever you tell yourself, it's going to be true, right? And so I didn't maintain the results, and I just yo-yoed for the rest of the year. I felt frustrated the rest of the year, and I just was just like, why is this happening? Why can't I maintain these results? Why can't I look this way? Why can't I get to this weight? And finally, because I'm still coaching, I'm still helping other people, I still do personal development on a daily basis. I remember it was around Christmas time in 2018. I said, enough is enough. Like, this is my body, and I need to love my body exactly how it is. And I get to decide how I'm going to get results. And I get to decide how I'm going to maintain my results. And I get to do all of these things. Like, I remember having a conversation with a really close friend and just saying, like, fuck it. I'm fucking tired of trying to make my body look a certain way. And that was kind of my breaking point. And that was the point where I decided that I was going into this year and I was really going to do the inner work that I needed to do to realize that my worth is not tied to the way my body looks, that I am worthy exactly how I am. There is nothing wrong with my body, no matter if it's 160 pounds or 130 pounds. I am worthy and I can love myself. And so I kind of just went on this inner journey, and I went and I journaled. I did all the things that I needed to do. I worked it out. And these are things that I'm teaching my More Than a Body Fit Club right now. And this summer, I just was like, you know what? I usually go into the summer freaked out because I gained a bunch of weight and I want to control that and all this stuff. I'm like, no, I'm just going to let myself be. I still worked out. I still drank my superfoods. I still followed a meal plan here and there, but I literally just allowed myself to be. I felt no guilt. I felt no shame. I felt nothing like that at all. I just lived. And it felt so freaking good. And I felt more happy, more confident, more, I don't know whether just accepting of myself. Like, I loved my body. And I really do think that I had to go and gain that weight and love my body the way it is now in order for me to ever love my body at any other way. Like, I never loved my body before. I never loved myself before. And so for me, I had to go back and do the inner work. And if that meant part of that inner work was gaining 20 pounds, then that was what it meant, right? Like, those 20 pounds literally mean nothing. But now it's time to strip that away and show myself what I am capable of and prove to myself that I can maintain results, because I do love my body exactly how it is. It's not that, I think that also, and I've been talking about this a lot, I do think that we can love ourselves for what we are, just like we can love our life for what we are and feel grateful for what we are, but also want to change that, also want more out of it. That's completely fine. I talked a lot this week about how before this program started, this 100-day program that I'm doing now, that I'm all in on. Again, I said I would never be all in on a program ever again. I did say that, but I learned every single year to never say never. But that's because I was in such a bad mental space of coming at it in a way of punishing myself. Now I'm like, okay, if I do this, like, how many other things are going to change? My energy is going to change. Like, even just this weekend, like, I feel so much better than I did last weekend. Not that I didn't feel good last weekend. I had a great time last weekend celebrating birthdays and stuff like that. But I can already see, like, the energy level coming up, the productivity coming up, the time I spent with my kids. Like, things are already changing. And that's why I decided to go all in. It wasn't necessarily just to change my body. Now, I am down 5 pounds in the first 6 days. And I'm sure a lot of it's water weight and bloat and all of that good stuff. But it's coming from such a different place. And I think this is the problem where people get so tied up is they come into these programs, they come into weight loss, they come into changing themselves, and they're just constantly punishing themselves. You have to learn to love yourself. I wrote something here. Oh, this is what, and I'm glad I looked. Okay, so I wrote down this. I said, I don't have a weight problem. I didn't have a weight problem ever. I had a recording now. Oh, it's back. Okay, so I didn't have a weight problem. I had a self-love problem. And I think most people do have that self-love problem. And I think when you can figure out how to love yourself for who you are, for what you look like now, it becomes a lot easier for you to move forward and change the way that is. It's okay to want your body to look different. It's okay to want to lose weight. It's okay to want to do all of those things. You just have to do it from the right way. You have to do it the right way, where you're doing it out of self-love. You're not doing it out of self-punishment. You're not doing it out of guilt. You're not doing it out of shame. So yes, right now, I am 20 pounds heavier than I was in 2018, and I could give a flying fuck. I mean, it feels so silly to say that. And I almost, as I was looking through that stuff, I was like, do I share this or do I not? And I vow to be raw and real with all of you guys. And I'm like, well, why would you not share it? And it's because and we all have this, like, we don't want other people to judge us. But the thing is I know that there's people out there that have gone through exactly what I have gone through. I know that there's people who have lost weight and have gained weight and they can't figure out how to get off the yo-yo train. And I know that I've been saying for years that I'm going to get off the yo-yo train. But the only way that you can fail is if you give up, is if you quit trying. If you quit trying to do the inner work and figuring out why this is happening, why you're doing these cycles. So my new belief going forward is I do not have to go backwards to go forwards, right? Like, we are onward and upward. We do not need to go backwards anymore. And I'm going to take you guys along that journey. And if you need to dive in and you need to do the inner work and you need to learn to love yourself for who you are and you want to move forward at the same time, you can do that. You don't have to do it the way I did it. I'm not saying everybody needs to gain 20 pounds in order to do that. I feel like that was something that I needed to do in order for me to move forward. But now I have the tools where I can help you move forward while you're learning to love yourself how you are. And you can do it quicker than I did it. And if you want to be a part of that, I do still have 3 promo codes to get $30 off to get into my More Than a Body challenge. And so if you want to get into that, just comment below or get into my inbox and I'll let you know. But it's not easy to share, for sure. And I do appreciate each and one of you that are always supporting me. But I just think that things need to change and people need to be more raw and people need to be more real. And I've seen both sides of the spectrum of like fitness inspiration and then body positivity. And I kind of feel like I'm in the middle of that, to be honest with you. Like, for a long time, I didn't know what my voice was with this. And I really think that this program and going through all this work this year is really pulling that out, because I don't feel like I fit in 100% with the body positivity people. I mean, I am all about body positivity. I am all about not being part of a diet culture. I am all about those things. But I'm also not on the fitness inspiration where I think you need to have rip abs and all of this stuff. I mean, if that's what you want, that's great, but make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Make sure that's something that you really do want. I think I'm somewhere in the middle where I think that you can love yourself. I think you're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. And I also think that it's okay if you want to follow a meal plan and you want to follow an exercise program and you want to do better for your body. That's great. I also think that it's more important for you to focus on other reasons why you're doing that. You know, why do you want to feel this way? Why? All of those things. So anyways, I'm not going to talk too much longer because I feel like I've rambled. But I do appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you guys have a great weekend. If you have more questions for me, always ask away. And I'll be talking to you tomorrow. Have a great Sunday. Bye.